Okay. So we should be live.
Woo!
Yes, we are. Okay. Perfect. So as you guys are hopping on, we're going to give you a second. Just say hello in the chat. If you're catching the replay, Brittney and I are going to come back and answer questions that you have. This is on Reach Retreat 2022. She's a keynote speaker. So just say hello when you pop in, and then we'll just dive right in. I'm going to open up the chat too so I can see your guys' comments. All right. I'm going to say hello. This is a casual chat, you guys. So again, if something comes up and it's on your mind, go ahead and put it in the chat and we both will revisit it over the next couple of days. So, okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and dive in for you guys. This is Brittney Suttle. She is one of our keynote speakers for Reach Retreat 2022. That's going to be July 14th through 18th in Savannah, Georgia. So our past Reach Retreaters selected the location and we're super excited. I have not been to Savannah. I haven't.
Not?
No.
Oh my gosh. You're going to love it.
I know.
One of my favorite cities.
So I've been like falling in love. I did actually hire a planner that is local to the area. And she's like, Danielle, I'm going to go scout out these restaurants that the girls have to try. And we're going to Tybee Island one day and just spending the day on the beach. And we're really excited. So the idea of this interview style was for you guys who are interested in Reach Retreat, or even maybe just don't know Brittney and need to have her in your life, just to kind of give you an idea of her energy, what to expect when you're in this space. You know, we have 6 leaders and speakers this year at Reach Retreat, but Brittney was something that our past Reach Retreaters were asking for. Like, okay, I'm making money in my business. I've been in business, 3 to 5+ years. I feel like I'm still not really paying myself the way that I desire, which I think is something that so many of us deal with. And then future planning, like what about tax? Like, what are the benefits of that? How do I manage my money? And so I went on this hunt and I was like, I have to find the perfect person for these ladies. So I went on this chase for a couple months and I came across Brittney's page and I went through her highlights, and I'm telling you guys, her Instagram is like a gold mine. Like, if you're looking for someone that just like gives you tips and provides lots of content and just is really serving you, there's so much information there. But I started going through and she was like, I'm like your right-hand lady in your business. And having been in business myself for 5 years, I'm like, I get frustrated sometimes when I don't understand. And so I feel like if I have someone saying like, this is how we spend money, and like, hey, we're coming up on this deadline, submit these things, like just someone that kind of supports you in that area, I feel like I can make more money and not have to worry as much. So that's my informal version of Brittney's introduction, but I'm going to let her tell you about her being a CPA, the firm that she runs, and that kind of thing. So you can just take over.
Yeah, so I am Brittney. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana with my husband and our 18-month-old son. I am, like Danielle said, a CPA, which is a certified public accountant. Went to school, got a degree in accounting and finance, worked at a CPA firm for 3 years, then went into kind of like the corporate world, and decided after a while, like a lot of us do, that just wasn't the path, I guess, for me. And so I actually started out while I was in corporate. I was side hustling, as again, a lot of people do. And I started out in the personal finance world, blogging, and I wrote a blog called Britt the Benjamins, very kitschy. And it was all about helping women with their personal finances and helping them build wealth on that front. And then I found there was this extreme need in the world of entrepreneurship for someone who women entrepreneurs specifically could go to help them manage the money in their businesses, because they were either getting really bad advice, they were getting talked down to by your typical, older CPAs. They had maybe people who were helping them that just didn't understand the new worlds of entrepreneurship, and specifically online entrepreneurship that we're all in. So I kind of pivoted away from the personal finance blog and started my company, Knies Co, which is a virtual, CPA, CFO firm. And I help entrepreneurs basically manage their finances, save money on taxes, and really like use your business, because let me tell you, there are a lot of laws based around helping business owners increase their wealth, do just that. So I basically help people get more out of their business and kind of revolve that around like the life that they want to live.
Right.
And just, yeah, and help them hit their goals. So every entrepreneur is different. Some people want to make 5,000 a month. Some people want to make 20,000 a month. And I help them and tailor my advice in order for them to do that.
Well, and that's what I like too, was that teaching us how we uniquely define success. Like when we talked about, Brittney, how are we going to approach this in the retreat setting? Because this is a very intimate setting where we are like sitting in front of her, able to ask questions about where we are in our struggles. And like my success may look different than Diana. Diana just hopped on and she's one of our speakers. Like she may say like, I do want to hit 20,000, dollar months. And my wealth building is in real estate, because that's something that Brittney does. Her and her husband invest in real estate. So maybe she's like, okay, well, in that case, like these are what we need to do. These steps or how to approach it in order to get there. And so one of the things she was talking about bringing to Reach Retreat as well was how we define success, and then what our goals are to get there, and then reverse engineering them to make them happen. And it sounds simple, but there's a lot more to it. And this is her area of expertise, because I think sometimes we think too short ahead, or we have maybe not as much confidence around making that money, or it doesn't seem as possible. And if someone can roadmap it for you, you're like, what? Like, how can it really be that way?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there is a little bit of math involved, but it's a little bit, and it's not complicated math, I swear. But yeah, I think it is, once you really look at the numbers, it is more attainable. And I think a lot of times people just have these arbitrary numbers in mind. You always hear like six-figure years, or you want to hit the $1 million mark, which is great, but sometimes that doesn't serve you in getting really specific on what you need and then reverse engineering that. You might find out that you don't need to hit this, whatever benchmark per se to actually make the money you want and live the life that you want. So it kind of takes away some of that stress of, oh my gosh, I need to, make $500,000 in sales in my business in order to pay myself what I want. You might only have to do, 250 in sales or something, which is much more manageable, things of that nature. So that's what we're really wanting to dive into and reverse engineer back. And then from there, figuring out, okay, what are some like you said, the roadmap, and then some really good tidbits and wealth building tips and tricks and whatnot that you can use to even get there faster.
Well, and it's just like whenever she does like short little post on the feed this past couple of weeks, it's like, oh, did you know that they extended that your meals are 100% deductible going into 2022, and these different things. Like, it's just the knowledge that I feel like makes us feel empowered. And I like that you say, like, I'm your right hand lady. It's not that you're not educating us and empowering us to do this, but you're supporting us. And that is something that we need as we're growing and evolving. And at Reach Retreat, these women that come are serious. You should be serious about the growth of your business and the impact. And we all know that, like, in order to create the impact that we need and we desire to create, we need money, right? Like, we need to have money to sustain a business and like take care of our family. Diana said, yeah, because I don't want to work 70-hour weeks just to make more money. And that's exactly right. And so at Reach Retreat, we go deep, guys. We go deep into every, different speaker has their area of expertise. And like, I love helping women be able to see what's possible in the way that they package and present their offers, and being like, oh my gosh, I've really been undervaluing myself. Or maybe if I presented it in a different way, then, and also like Reach Retreat being tax deductible, like people are like, what? Like, this isn't like, I didn't even think about that.
Write it off, guys.
shameless plug, you can write off retreat. No.
And all your travel expenses there.
Exactly. So we're just going to put that in there. But yeah, so it's really great to look at those different ways. I know she did a branding shoot for your course that you launched, and you were explaining to us like in what ways this could be tax deductible and benefit our business. And so I think a lot of times too, like we're using our personal funds when we're already not paying ourselves the way we desire, when really it should be a business expense. And so that's just blows my mind, and it's something that we need.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, I wrote off Dry Bar, because
right.
I got my hair styled for the photo shoot, and then, went out on a date night with my husband. I looked great.
Yes.
It's those types of things and being strategic about it, to help you save more in taxes and things like that.
Yeah, and taxes can be like, oh, it doesn't sound like all that sexy. But I think whenever you do have it in a way that's unique to you, and you know that you're on the path to building wealth, and that each decision that you make is going to make it more exciting. It's going to be having that income, and when you're excited, you become a magnet, right? More people want to work with you. And I think the confidence behind the scenes in our business, what's going on in our books, what's going in our accounts, like that does affect the way that we show up as business owners. And so,
and there were some things, I think people think that it's like this huge, mountain you have to tackle and something that you have to do every month. A lot of these things to help you build wealth are things that you set up once or you do once, and then it kind of just works for you in the background, which is great. And those are kind of like the big hitters, I say. And those are the things you want to get set up for your business because they work for you while you're doing something else.
Well, and I wanted to hit on that because we have a lot of returning retreaters. Like a lot of the women come with us with each year because the retreat evolves. Like they asked for you and they're getting that. They asked for Savannah and they're getting that. So it really grows with us and where we're at. But we had in the past had tackled, really getting intentional with our money. And a lot of us had been implementing like profit first method and that kind of thing. And that is something that Brittney does as part of her bookkeeping services. So it's in alignment too with how I run my money. I know Diana follows that same pathway. Dana's a past retreater. I'm about to be interviewing her. She does the same thing. So a lot of us have had experience in that. It's not a must, you guys, but if you're feeling unsure of like how much money to put back in taxes, how to pay yourself a quarterly bonus, how to have that tax account ready and secure and confidently writing those quarterly estimates, like it goes into more of the nerdy, like specifics, but like I have a money routine that I had learned from a previous retreat speaker that I implement, and it gets me excited. Like I'm like, oh, like I got that. I put it in, and I'm like, I know how to pay myself too. And that's the thing that you had talked about is teaching us how to earn more and how to pay ourselves. And so that is priceless. And I think a lot of times too, we think we're paying ourselves enough, but really we're giving too much to taxes and we're hoarding that away rather than maximizing it. And again, like it all comes back to having someone like you in our business.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree.
I wasn't planning on this either, but I did want to share that Brittney had recently released a course around this too. And Danielle Villamoret, she's been our photographer and videographer the last 2 years. And we had brunch yesterday and she was like, I bought Brittney's course. Like, this is not a plug for Brittney's course, but kind of is too, because it was just crazy to see like how much value you're getting from her without even physically being in her energy. And so she was like, I highly recommend it. Like I felt really empowered. I keep going back to it. And so even when you leave retreat and you're building these relationships with these women, having that continued support and other ways to work with them is incredible. And you're building over, these 4 evenings and 5 days of relationships with these women in all these different industries that can support you in your business moving forward. And them on an intimate level. And that allows us to feel a lot more safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm hoping, to at the retreat, and I'm sure there's going to be space for this, for people to be able to, I know money is a very sensitive topic, but I always say judgment-free zone here. Like I have seen it all. No judgment as to, past money habits or where you're starting from. It's all about the progress moving forward. And I'm hoping that for anyone that wants to have just like a one-on-one conversation, I would love to do that too, in addition to, the keynote that we're going to be doing, because I know there are generalities. There's also some very specific situations that people have. And, I want people to feel very comfortable and safe asking those questions of me there. So for anyone who's thinking about going to Reach Retreat, you are going to get, one-on-one attention too, I think. So.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point to hit on, because when we talk about money, it can get uncomfortable. It can be a trigger. Like Diana, she talks a lot about triggers, and it can be that for you. And so having that support of a counselor at Reach Retreat in that space, but also having someone who understands, has seen it all, who's gone in and cleaned up the books and helped people feel empowered and knows that it's a starting point, is great. And so that was the whole point of having someone in this topic, is because you're not alone. Like,
right.
We all struggle with that.
Yeah.
At every Reach Retreat, there's some topic around money, because it does affect how we show up. And what I loved about your approach too, is it being in the way that you want to create your life. And that's what Reach Retreat is founded on, is creating a life and a business of intention. It's not compared to how Danielle sees her business, or how Brittney does, or Diana, or it's how do you define success. And maybe that means, like, for me, it's not living in a big fancy home. It's living comfortably. It's making memories and traveling with my family. It's seeing the world. Everybody has a different view of that. I just got squirreled because Diana said it's so powerful when you realize that you don't have to be ashamed about your money. And that unique part of Reach Retreat having the one-on-one time, because our ratio, guys, is 10 attendees to 6 leaders. Like, that's unheard of. We have not done that before. It is literally that time to just set and have that hand holding and feel the emotion around it too. But eventually I want us to get to a place where we're really excited about our life and our business. And that's the transformation I want you to have, is walking away from Reach Retreat being like, I feel supported. I have this community of women that are backing behind me. I have a vision on where I want to go. And I literally help them roadmap it when they leave. So they're going to have actionable strategies that they implement while we're there, and then actually can put them into play and grow their business. And we're at halfway into the year when we're at Reach Retreat together.
Yeah.
So there's so many ways to still really maximize our year and end really strong.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I think we hit on most of it. I just, what are you, I guess, most looking forward to for Reach Retreat, since it's your first time?
Besides it being in Savannah, love that city. I think just, we all have like our areas of expertise, even the attendees, right? So I think just being able to glean like just some tidbits from everyone to help just elevate, my business even more, my life. I think that's what I'm most looking forward to, and actually taking the time to do it away from my typical day-to-day setting here, because, I try to set aside time when I'm here in my home base, but things get in the way. And I think we all know that. So actually designating time to go do this and spend on my business with other people who bring like really great knowledge to the table too.
Yes.
I'm excited for that.
And it's hard to step away. I think we can end on that, because you're a newer mom, and I have 3 kids, and Diana has children, and all of us have these responsibilities. We're managing businesses, we're on the go, we have kids, we have responsibilities, but you obviously see the importance too of stepping away and taking care of yourself. And that's something we talk about a lot. And like you said, stepping away, like we go get a massage here and there, we go to the gym and work out, but like undistracted time. Do you want to talk anything about like how you feel going into that? Like how did you think about it when I asked you? And I was like, hey, like what hesitations did you maybe have come up? Or were you just like, yeah, I know I need to do this?
You know what? I didn't have a lot of hesitations, to be honest, just because I haven't done this in a while. And, part of that is because of the pandemic. So we've all been kind of homebound. And my business now is at a very different level than it was 2 to 3 years ago. And I haven't had I've just been in like such growth mode and such like, I'd
Creation.
say like busyness mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're just trying to keep up, that I haven't had time to really step away and focus on the business side and where is this going? What do I want this to look like? And that kind of thing. So I really didn't have a lot of hesitation.
That's good though.
Like,
But have you invested in something like this before? I mean, you're a keynote speaker, so not necessarily investing as an attendee, but like invested your time and stepped away in this way. And like, how has it benefited you?
yes. So definitely have before. And I think the biggest thing with any of this one is connections. Obviously, that's going to be great. But in the past, when I went, it was one of those things where I think you just got clarity again about like what you really wanted in your business, and some really good defining pieces to put into action. Some things I've attended in the past didn't have like that per se action piece to it, which I didn't like. So that's what I love about what you're doing here, is like there is going to be a roadmap for you at the end of this, so that it's not just we're there for a weekend and then you get back into the hustle and bustle of your life and it just gets put to the wayside. I think that was one of the driving factors of why I liked Reach Retreat as well. But just getting the clarity, spending the time, learning from other entrepreneurs, meeting other women entrepreneurs is fantastic, and bonding with them, because if you're anything like me, like a lot of my friends don't own businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to complain to them about
and relate. Yes.
Yeah.
I had brunch with Daniela yesterday and we were talking about like the taxes and the 1099s and stuff. And it's like, I can't have this conversation with just anybody as we sip coffee and have brunch. So what my whole idea was around asking you that question is because I'm like, that is a hesitation that so many of us face, but I wanted to hit on it because we haven't yet in the past interviews. But I know Diana is like, this is her zone of like, you need to be empowered to step away because you're a better mom and a better wife when you return. And so for me, what I've noticed, just even as a host, like hosting the events, but when I go to an educational conference weekend or something like that, I come back and I'm like, rested. I have more space. I don't feel stressed. I carve out more intentional time with Leah to be her mom. I take care of myself better by like exercising and doing all of those things. So when people think about Reach Retreat, like it's not just business, guys. That is so important. But our life and our business go hand in hand. So we're hitting on all of the areas because I want you to come back and be like, boom, like I'm ready. And if you hit a roadblock, you have this circle of people who will lift you up, relate to you, laugh with you, vent with you about business, and you don't have to feel awkward about it. You don't have to feel like you're taking space with someone who doesn't understand. So so Diana said it's going to blow your mind. Yes, you guys, it's going to blow your mind. But I think that's really it, Brittney. I just wanted to let them have kind of a feel of what it would be like to be in Reach Retreat with you, what you're going to be bringing to the table, and let them feel empowered to ask you questions as they come up. So if you want to end with anything else, otherwise we'll just wrap up and hopefully we'll see you guys in July in Savannah.
I hope so. It was great talking with you. I can't wait to meet everyone at Reach Retreat person, because I know we have talked via the internet, but
we're gonna actually get to sit and like have a drink in the courtyard. I'm gonna close with the details. I told you guys the dates are July 14th through the 18th. It is in Savannah, Georgia. We're staying in an 1800s historic estate. We are going to have a 5-star chef. We're going to have no cooking, no cleaning. We're going to do yoga. We're going to do like just connection and laughing and exploring the city. It's going to be amazing. And we're going to do work at the same time, which for me as a type A person, I'm like, yes, I'm retreating, but I'm also kind of excited to like put some things into play and have my creative juices flowing while I'm stepped away from everything else. So if you guys are interested, you can apply. I will put the link in the live for you guys. It's free to apply. Like, you just grab coffee, hop on Zoom like me and Brittney. We just chat about it. We do have 5 spots remaining, and then we're sold out. So if this is something that you guys are interested in, apply. Let's chat. Let's see how it's going to meet you where you're at. So, but thanks, Diana, for hopping on. And if anybody else has questions, feel free to put them in the chat.